believe that it is a year ago since we were talking all things puppets? And it wasn't just a random conversation. I didn't just one day come on and go, I know, we'll talk about puppets. It was an event which our friends at One Way UK were not just involved with, but they're the founders of the event. And this is getting bigger and bigger. And joining me now on the line is David from One Way UK. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Gareth. How you doing today, pal?
Now, that sounds like the energy of a person who is basically completely overwhelmed with the stress and you haven't had any sleep. And you've almost gone from that point of being, I'm tired, to actually, I'm fine. Life is brilliant.
You wouldn't believe how accurate that actually is right now, Gareth. That's absolutely spot on. Today is the last day that we've got in our offices before the initial team head down to the site. So today is our last day to get everything done, basically. So yeah,
And
fine.
say the event. So tell us all about this because it's been extended as it develops. It's very exciting. It used to be a 2-day event. Now
Yeah.
it's a 3-day event.
Yeah, so over the years, it's kind of grown and changed and developed as kind of things have changed. We've kind of expanded the Ministry of One Way UK and what we do and the kind of range of resources that we cover. But this year is the very first year that we've done a full 3 days, which means that we've gained effectively about 12 hours of content time from all the Q&A panels, all the networking sessions, the competitions, the showcases, all of that. We've packed in a whole extra day, which we are so excited for. Because when you're it's like you go with any event, the moment you get there, you get all that set up, and then when it feels like 5 minutes, the event's finished, and you're like, well, we've only just started. We're only just getting started here. So having an extra day is going to make such a difference. And there's always such a brilliant atmosphere at the festival. It's just when you're gathering with people who are passionate about the same things as you, it's just that atmosphere. There's a buzz in the air and there's just an excitement of being together. So to have that for an extra day where we can pack in so much more content, it's just going to be brilliant. It really is. And I know there's this kind of exhausted energy kind of going on right now, but there is in the office, there is this excitement for the event. So many hours have been put into planning it and thinking about every element and making sure that everything is kind of thought about and it's going to encourage people, it's going to inspire people, it's going to resource people. We're just so excited now to actually just get there and get on with it and get the festival done, really.
And you've got some great speakers there, one or two dreadful ones as well, because I'll be doing it and Andy Godfrey as well. But don't let that put you off. Tell us about what we can expect, because you mentioned puppetry. Now, obviously, that is, I guess, your bread and butter, if you want to call it that. That's something that you guys have been doing for, no offense to your dad, but 125 years, and he's the founder,
Yeah,
isn't he?
he it has been happening for a very long time. I mean, I've been involved in puppets since I was like 9 years old now. I mean, that's a fair time ago. So we kind of puppets is our passion. It's what we do. It's what we know. We've seen the impact and the potential of puppetry. We can see just how powerful it can be for something which is basically a bit of fabric and foam. How it can change people's lives and how it can speak to people in a different way that you would never think puppets can do. It still kind of blows us away by how God can use puppets and the impact it can really have. But at the festival, so yeah, puppets is what we do. So it's what we specialize in, it's what we're known for. But at the festival, we love to kind of expand what we offer because we're aware that puppets alone isn't maybe what people do. Like alongside puppetry, you do storytelling, you might do gospel illusions, you might do science object lessons and things like that. So we've got workshops covering a huge range of topics. So even if you are not interested in puppets in the slightest, that's absolutely fine. We were not going to be offended. If you hate puppets, then there's going to be a resource which is packed full of puppets, and maybe not. But if you just want to come for storytelling, or if you just want to come and discover how you can enhance your toddler group with new ideas, with new craft ideas, and you just need a bit of encouragement and inspiration in the different ministries that you're involved with, that's working with kids, with young people, with adults, there's going to be kind of workshops covering that one. We've got the legend of Hartman storyteller there over the full 3 days as well, doing showcases and workshops. If you want to up your storytelling game, we've got that there. We've got Ross and Chris from Play It By Ear Drama coming over from Ireland as well, which is just the most hilarious guys, and they are all so passionate about being with delegates, giving their time and their skills and their knowledge to delegates as well. It's just going to be brilliant. And we've got obviously we've got Leslie Gray there this year, who is famously the workshop leader who sets people's hands on fire. The amount of pictures that we've got of this fireball in her hands is just brilliant. So she's hands on. So we've got her in a science lab this year at the college. So she's got all this space for doing science experiments. So you're showing the delegates how you can use science to teach stories from the Bible and to teach different principles as well. And that's just free workshop leaders. We've actually got 20 workshop leaders over the 3 days leading workshops, with about 80 workshops to choose from over the festival. I can't really think of many events that have got that kind of breadth and that sheer quantity of workshops to choose from. So whatever kind of your interest is, if you're passionate about sharing the gospel, telling people about Jesus in a new way, in an innovative way, and if you're just looking for ideas, I can pretty much guarantee you will find something at the festival which will say, you know what, that is just brilliant. I love that one, and you can take it back with you. We've got the resource which is just full of resources, which means that you can be inspired by something over here. You can pick up some resources, and then you can go home and you can get started and start using it in your ministries and your work in schools or communities or wherever you're doing it straight away. And this is practical help. This isn't just kind of theories, or you could maybe do this. It's a hands-on sessions. Let's do this together kind of thing. And that's what I think is really quite special and unique about our festival. Is that go on?
Well, it's going to be taking place. So people will be wondering, when is it? Where is it? Well, it's Rugby College in Warwickshire. That's where it's taking place. And it starts this Friday, which is the 3rd, and it goes straight through to Sunday the 5th. And I just want to put this to you. Have you ever met anybody who doesn't like a puppet? Because I think even the most miserable person, when you put a puppet on your wrist, they will start to smile.
There's just something about it, isn't there? So unless you've got an irrational fear of puppets, in which case it's separate anyway. But there is just, you're absolutely right, Gareth. There's just something about it, isn't there? Which just makes you smile. It just connects you. And key thing is, it just engages you, doesn't it? It just draws you in, and that's why puppets is so powerful. But yeah, the festival is this weekend. It's coming up very soon. If people are looking for accommodation, we've got accommodation options on our website for just £5. And the key thing as well is, if you're struggling financially, if money is going to be blocking you from coming, we have got sponsored passes to come. So please do apply for them. People have been incredibly generous donating passes. So if you can't come to the festival because of money, contact us, because we have got free passes available which have been donated by people to give away. We just want to bless you. We just want you to be there and to be inspired by all the incredible things that we've got to share over the 3-day event.
The website is onewayuk.com. I so wish I could bring my children, but I don't think I could handle the stress, David. Genuinely, I don't.
What could possibly go wrong, Gareth? What could possibly
This is the thing. So if I didn't have to work there as well, I may have brought them for a few hours and then had somebody to take them back home. But genuinely, I don't think you would want that at your festival. You wouldn't want 3 children, but 2 of them at the moment are absolutely mad. I was just thinking then that you were saying that in a way, puppets, they can break through situations that other things can't. Have you thought of doing some sort of prison ministry? Because genuinely, I do think that even the hardest criminals in the world, when they saw a puppet, it would bring some sort of change in them. I'm sure that would be the case.
Yeah, no, there are people using puppets in prisons. It is already being done, and there's puppets. They go into every situation, and that's what makes them so powerful. Is that you can use a puppet in a toddler group in a nursery session with the youngest age groups. Yeah, we also use puppets in care homes with the oldest generations, and you get an impact on each way. You change the content on what you do, like you do nursery rhymes, you might do war songs for the older ones. But if there's something that can connect them, puppets just manages to do that, and it's one of those things we never quite understand why and just how it's so powerful, but it just works. And we've got experience. We've been doing puppets ourselves in our local area, across the country and worldwide for years. So we know the impact it can have. And it's not just a sales pitch or anything, it's because we've done it ourselves. We've got a puppet team, we do it. And that's what makes our team at One Way different and special, is that we are using our resources. Like, I'm a kids worker at our church. I use our resources in our kids' church on a Sunday. We use it on our Christmas school assemblies when we're going into our local schools. And again, that's what the workshop leaders at our festival from, I mean, there's just so many of them. It's just brilliant. They are using their skills and their ministries live in their settings. They just want to inspire other people as to how they can use it in their settings as well.
And as a puppet master,
Thank you very much.
when you've got the puppet on your wrist, you can get away with anything, as proven by the likes of Rod Hull on
Mhm.
TV shows. You can just sort of, I guess it's like a costume, isn't it? So people who, I've got a few friends who actually are professional mascots. I'm not joking about that. Genuinely, they are professional mascots. And they've been doing it for such a long time, but they say that when they're in that costume, they have so much more confidence than when they aren't in the costume. And I guess that's like that with a puppet, isn't it, really? That when you've got a puppet, it's almost like a security blanket, would you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, and there's some really interesting research in how puppets can enable people where if they're quite anxiety or if they're mental health even as well, is by using puppetry, it can break down those barriers. So puppetry is increasingly used in therapy. We've had some really interesting contacts through Instagram, even just over the last month, of puppets being used in therapy. We're kind of wanting to link in with these different groups more, see how we can develop that one and provide new resources. Because even if a child doesn't want to speak to a person, they might be confident and happy speaking to a puppet. Then the puppets and the adult can kind of relay information through and kind of help that kind of child or that adult, especially with additional needs. Puppets is incredibly powerful, and we've got workshops at the festival kind of looking at how you use puppets with adults or children with additional needs and just how powerful it can be then there as well. So yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that can really break down all those kind of barriers and be utilized in such a powerful way. Even if you're shy, you put a puppet on your hand. I mean, I can't imagine putting a puppet on your hand. Try this out and see what happens to your character.
Well,
Just
because
explode.
the thing, yeah, if there's one thing I don't need, it's more confidence. But the thing is that it does work this because me and my wife have worked out, especially with Elijah. Now, I was going to say he's our youngest, but he isn't anymore. He's the middle child. And if you've got a teddy bear and if you hold it in your hand and if you do a voice and ask him what he did at school, he'll tell you with great detail. Whereas
Yeah.
if you just ask him, as dad asking him, he just sort of, he looks up sometimes from his food or his iPad and he just completely gives me a blank look and then continues what he was doing. But because you've got Mr. Ted there asking, I won't
Oh,
do the voice on the radio now,
I'll
but
be
because you've got, I can only do one voice anyway, but when you do it via the Teddy, it's a completely, he opens up. It changes the child.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things and what's kind of coming through the research is that it gives a voice to people. If they don't feel like they've got a voice themselves, or they're not strong enough, or even maybe not good enough, and different things like that, to talk about something or to present something or to answer a question or interact, to put it on their hand, and it's not them, is it? It's the puppet who's doing the talking. They talk through the puppet, and the puppet can communicate things um, in a freer way. Again, where it comes down to therapy being so much better because it means that you're not having that embarrassment or the emotions involved, and the puppets just enable that, and it just releases this kind of potential in people. I mean, you might see that we've had people who have been really shy on like a train day and really quite like an introvert and held back and quite almost like we've kind of withheld. But you put a puppet on their hand, and this kind of new person kind of explodes through it, and this character is almost the absolute opposite of their own personality, kind of comes out. It's so exciting to see that happen, and just see this kind of person just realize something, and this kind of new, oh, I can express myself in this way, kind of moment. It's just brilliant.
And that's why I'll be taking a puppet to the meeting with my accountant to ask if I can have some more money.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to be,
Please.
please, please. I mean, I'd love to see the picture of that one, Gary. I mean, it's this awkward-looking accountant, maybe, of you, this human.
Yeah, I ask him, and he's just a complete deadpan face. And then from under the desk lurks a
Oh,
little puppet, and he goes, "Oh, go on, then you
oh
can. It's
man,
all right."
I'll
Um,
triple it. No,
Genuinely, we're so looking forward to this because we couldn't make it in person last time, but we're going to be there for the full 3 days. We've got the stand, and I'll be doing a TED talk And maybe I can hold up a puppet which is also called Ted. And
Oh,
we'll
great.
also be doing a few workshops about digital media, and Andy Godfrey talking about evangelism. And there's loads of great guests there. It's something for all the family. But I do suggest that you get your tickets quick because time is running out. And after all, it's the festival on Friday.
It's this
The
weekend.
3rd, it starts and it finishes on the Sunday. And we'd love to see you there. If you are there, come over and say hi. It's at Rugby College, Warwickshire. And if you go to the website, One Way UK, that's the actual word one, not the one, if that makes sense. OneWayUK.com. Head over there, get your tickets. And remember what David said about the whole financial thing. If you are struggling and you'd still like to be there, then get in touch with the team via the website. David, we'll see you in a few days. We can't wait.
It's gonna be honestly, we're so excited for Connect Radio and you guys to be there. I've known you for years, Gareth, and it's always good to spend time with you in person. Do about 3 days together, Gareth. It's gonna be great.
And also, just to point out that this fella here is to blame for my passion of 3D printing. He's the man who well, in fact, not sort of. I came to an event and you were there with your 3D printer, and then my cog started whirling. I was asking my wife, can I have one of those? What do you need one of those for? You'll never use it. Well, I certainly have used it.
Absolutely. I can remember that one then. I could just see you kind of pause when you
I was
saw it.
transfixed, wasn't it?
This is interesting. This is interesting. But yeah, we'll have a 3D printer, one of our 3D printers with us in the resource hub, just showing what it can do and how we use 3D printing in our workshop of building puppets and kind of unique kind of products as well. So yeah, I'm sure you'll be looking. Although if you're kind of overtaking us a little bit with your 3D printers now, you've got masses of them, haven't you?
I don't like to boast, but I am reaching a 3D printing farm at the moment. But
Yeah.
maybe I could bring my 3D printer down and we can compare 3D printers.
We're really geeky on it, can't we, as well? Just say, right, what's the quickest acceleration that you can do?
Right, David, really looking forward to seeing you and the team and spending 3 days with you. Looking forward to it. Remember the website, head over there for your tickets and to find out more. It's onewayuk.com.